allow the two children to attend the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle so they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira, see them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun live.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary.
Thank you so much for joining me. Please share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them Maiyegun today.
Maiyegun diary Politico.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism.
Also, I would like you to please tag the people you considered as elders, older people, the people that actually need to watch this broadcast with you. Share the broadcast.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Take your time, please, and share the broadcast.
No lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láti.
Can I ask you something?
Ewúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
What is wrong with it with these old people who have decided to throw everything into the ring in defending Tinubu? What is wrong with these old people? Again, dear old people.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láti.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láti.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Let us touch on the ones that actually affect you right now. The economy.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Paul who is hiring more liars, more propagandists, more schemers that will come and lie to you rather than to employ or hire real economists that can take you out of the APC induced poverty.
Pẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì.
Get out.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ráàkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Jíjó ìbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Sorry if my starting music bores you.
Maiyegun ti dé.
We are waiting for others to join in.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn.
Pound sterling, 10,000 pound sterling will give you 12.5 million naira in APC Nigeria.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá.
1,000 pound sterling will give you 1.25 million naira, which is 1,250,000 naira under APC. Ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ráàkì.
And finally, subsidy is back. They just wanted to increase the price of petroleum, not because they wanted to fix the problem. Subsidy is back. The petroleum price is high and it's going to go higher. Have you shared the broadcast?
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ráàkì.
Wọ́n tún ní Atiku tún jẹ́ Sadiki, which means you might have known Atiku Abubakar. Now they said he also forged his own name. He is also called Sadiki. Ogbon Sadiki.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
When last did you see Tinubu, by the way?
Maiyegun ti dé.
They don't post his picture now to show proof of life. We haven't seen him since he returned back from Paris.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Mutide. I was giving you highlights, so that it doesn't look like I didn't tell you what you are about to watch. For those of you who are real elders, older people, the ones who have come to even regret what your generation have done, I am talking about those of you older. Hang on, what's that? Okay, I think we're fine. Anyway, so I'm talking about you, the older people that are reasonable and responsible. Okay, I think that is, I'm sorry about that, by the way. That's you and this mobile. Finally, sorry about that. However, I'm talking about those of you who are real elders, older people, who are looking at what the world has turned to. And a lot of you, in fact, feel sorry for us. A lot of you look at this generation and the generation that are coming after and the ones after, and you are like, where is their future for them? You didn't see this coming. And because of this, so many of you have given, physical, verbal, financial support to the aspiration of these young people in Nigeria, aspiring for a better place than what this older criminal generation have done, and how much they have actually managed to also corrupt the younger generation that you can say it very boldly. That in Nigeria of today, no matter how worse or how bad these current criminals, this older generation are, when you look at those who are going to or waiting to take over from them, you realize that they are even worse. In that regard, they have corrupted every generation after them so as to carry on in this contraption. So this is me just trying to say there are others who also, you can call them old people. In fact, they have a track record of human rights activists. Now, when you call yourself human rights lawyer, that simply means you are not a friend to government, because it is the government that is mostly perpetuating inhuman actions against their own citizens that will likely require lawyers that will work on a pro bono. But you see, Nigeria is so conflicted, complicated, and at the same time, easily predictable. Now, what do I mean by that? There is a man called Olisa Agbako, and he happened to be one of, he's the recent and the latest among some of these septuagenarians who have pretended for so long to be on the right side of the law, but because of human rights, a lot of digging were not really done on them. They were always part of the establishment. And in fact, their voices are louder or loudest if they are on the other side of the sharing divide, the same establishment. Not that out of it, just on the other side. So they'll pretend to be fighting for human rights, Nigerians' rights. Now, you have heard that of a Confessor Shoyinka. You have heard that of Clark. You have yet few others too, who have told everyone to ignore the facts, forget the law, forget morality. There's no morality in this game. Everybody should move on. And all our lives, because I grew up in Nigeria, all our lives from cradle, so when we start walking and then talking, we were made to believe that lying is wrong, stealing is wrong, cheating is wrong. In some instances, we were even raised to believe that all those things, they were sins that could end us, that we could end up in hellfire for those who went on the religious route as well. We were told never to do drug, never to transact it, never to get ourselves involved in any illegality. We were raised that way. Every child is told, if you do that, if they catch you, you are going to jail. If you do that, and if they, that's it. Nobody will come after you. If you do this, they will kill you. So how come all of us who were raised that way, maybe not all of us, but many of us who were raised that way, now have leaders who are completely exact what they told us never to do? And then you started wondering, what exactly is the difference? Like what is right and what is wrong and the rest of that. So in that same society, you could ask yourself again, like, how did we come by where we have become people who have been so kind of a soulless, people who don't have real feelings anymore. They don't care about consequences anymore. Society that's now become so much like institutionalized lying, things that are supposed to be vices, right there. But here we are, where you see the likes of Olisa Agbako Agba, because that's what I think is the closest I could rename him. Abiru Agbako Lele. Lawyers who knows about the crime of forgery and lying under oath. many of them who have actually took up battles with Tinubu on this issue of forgery. This is how I'm going to make you understand this conversation better. Okay? You see, this man is a senior advocate of nuisance, or simply put, senior advocate of nonsense. He is a respected, what do you call it, a respected elder or elder statesman. Until now, we don't know, we don't know what is really wrong with a lot of older people right now in Nigeria. I am talking about, this is somebody you know, but there are many others that you know them personally, and you start having this conversation about these wrongs with them, and the way they kind of react or respond makes you question, like, what is really wrong with them? Dele Farutimi said that, thank God for Tinubu, that if Tinubu didn't happen to Nigeria, a lot of people you actually hold them in high esteem, people you respect a lot, you would never have known their role and deep involvement in Nigeria's unfortunate miseries. Listen, when they mention the names like Olisa Agbakoba, names like Ruth, not Ruth, that one is like a big guy, Femi Falana, you easily approach them as what? Human rights activists. But the devil lies in the details. Number one, they are lawyers. Okay? Which means their job is to defend anyone that is their client. Right? And it's also lawyers that will prosecute that person that is also their client. Theirs is to ensure that their client is set free. Okay? So, that same people, as a cover-up, they are also the lawyers who are drafting different legal policies for so many multinational companies in Nigeria, helping them to dupe Nigeria. As long as they can pay them well, they don't care. So by the time you look at all of the agreement and the legal whatever they put together, and you ask which chamber is working for Shell, is working for Chevron, is working for this bank, is working for that business, and all of those things, right? You will find the same human rights activists, lawyers. The media present them as human rights activists. So when they make all of those underhand dealings for those criminals, then you see those ones who are politicians, they are also their friends, okay? So if there's a case of a forgery against them, the same human rights lawyers that are going to pretend to be fighting bad governments, they will also be the lawyers saving the criminals who are perpetuating the bad government. And they will tell you, I am just doing my job. So when they now put criminals in power, okay, and ensure that all of the laws protects the criminal, then they will now, when the criminal starts acting, they will now join the rest of you and say, we need to go and protest. This is so wrong, and on TV and all of that. Do you see how it can be complicated? So the media presents them. So many times some of you are like, what has Professor Wole Soyinka said about this? What has Professor Musa Abdullahi said about it? What has the Sultan Kiniko? You are looking up to them to say something. Oh, what has Femi Falana said about this whole thing? And some of you are like, oh, I know, it's this, and you are abusing and attacking them right now because a lot of you are just discovering that you have been fooled for so long. And in the way they have presented themselves in the last 25, 30 years in Nigeria, right? It can only take somebody like Tinubu to unravel all of them. Do you understand? Somebody asked me, Maiyegun, Nigerians can no longer protest. I can't imagine what APC did to them. APC, I said, no, APC didn't do it. Apart from the fact that people are like, people have been made poorer. Okay, there's so much bothering people these days. Okay, I said, listen, the people that are always organizing protests, funding protests, there are many Nigerians have ignorantly followed. They didn't know the agenda of the protest. They didn't know the goal of those who set up all of this protest and all of that. They just felt like an opportunity to show anger against bad government. You are going to grab it. I said, those who used to organize protest and the media that used to normalize it, amplify it, and mobilize people for it, they are now the people in government. Okay? Majority of them have been given appointments here and there under Bukwari, since those who were organizing protest in Nigeria and getting every other part of Nigeria to join, historically, they have been the Yorubas, my people. I didn't have that smile on my face or that grin on my face just to show probably like I'm proud of it. No. I'm just kind of like, look at it. I come from the people, from the region that has perfected, okay, the art of fooling the people and making them believe that those criminals from that my part of the country, they were progressives. Do you understand? They were those who are really democratic. So the template of what they were selling to people was that, do you remember do you remember the regional system of government? Do you remember the successes recorded by the Yorubas, especially the Western region government, how they did it and all of that? Look at these guys from Yoruba land. They are the descendants of those political ideology, progressive politics. So they now sold the idea that Chief Obafemi Awolowo was like the best president that Nigeria never had. So that image, which we really, really milked, we milked it for so long, okay, until people started falling by the way and started showing their true color, that they were never in any way progressives, okay? They are intolerant people, and you can easily call them fascist. If you don't go their way, that means you can either get killed or indeed you could get roped into anything. This type of Bolekaja politics was the local one, but the picture we sold to the world was that we are so progressively minded as Yorubas. We are good in administration. We are very good in development. All we need to show the world what we are capable of doing, which Nigeria truncated in 1966, was democracy. So the idea was sold. And a lot of people now started seeing people from that part of Nigeria as, wow, the Yorubas, they are so intellectual, they are this or that. So whenever they want to weigh in on national issues, okay, they usually weigh in from the position of people who are like sitting on the high horse, living on the old glory. All this while, when democracy started, okay, our people have become more poorer. Our areas have become more underdeveloped. Our people are living in more poverty today, when we now have Yorubas who are governors, who are senators, Yorubas who are lawmakers, Yorubas who are commissioners, Yorubas who are contractors governing Yoruba land in the last 24 years. So eventually, what I'm trying to bring out here is that in this position, when anyone from our part of Nigeria weighs in on national issue, is weighing in from the region that is considered most educated, most advanced, and the kind of most prosperous in Nigeria. All of that are political. Do you understand? So therefore, a lot of people would like to listen. Now, those who have cashed in on, on this narrative, and to be able to participate in the Nigeria bigger project, when that of a Bokwari opportunities came, those who were like Occupy Nigeria, remember, they became the members and the vuvuzelas for Bokwari's government. You remember? So from this background, they gave them vice presidential slots. So, and the vice president to Buhari, this is the story. Buhari is an illiterate, okay, that never ever passed any professional examination other than just shoot and kill and all that. And he came from a region that's considered politically advantaged. Yeah. So for those who usually organize protest, fund NLC, and the rest, all of you may be wondering, how come NLC, Ushiomole, became the party of Tinubu? Immediately, his term ended as a labor leader. Abi? Then he joined AC. He became governor. When Tinubu used their own legal abracadabra at the time to get him reinstated. Abi? Remember? So you didn't know that those who used to fund and organize whether strike or protest and all of that, they've always been from the southwest Nigeria, at least in the last 24 years, or in the last 34 years, rather, from the early 90s. Okay, so immediately they were back. They gave them, Yorubas have to be, like the vice, and that vice president was like a motivational speaker. I'm talking about Pastor Ruga. It was like they called him the golden boy or star boy. It was the one going about dropping figures here and there and dropping numbers and all of this talk until they destroyed Nigeria, bankrupted Nigeria. Today, he's back as a pastor, motivational speaker as well. Now, the bottom line is this. From the moment they came in, organizing strike or what have you ended. So the military, the police, they became emboldened because there is no Southwest media, okay, to gaslight them, report to the world. There are no personalities from the Western Nigeria to come up and say, you know what I mean? I'm talking about the known faces, to come out and say, this country is going bad, you are failing. They couldn't do that because they are now in government. They cannot start organizing public disobedience against the government they put in place. That is why Nigerians could no longer organize any real protest. So when NSAS happened, that was a shocker. It was a shocker, not just to those who are used to organizing it. It is also a shocker to the rest of the entire establishment, because for the first time, they couldn't pinpoint who were those who organized it. How did they start? They were surprised. And that was why they lost control of it. Murdered people, did all they did. They lost total control. And you know what happened after? The Western media, the media from the Western part. And when I say Western media, these are not Yoruba media alone. No. You have Igbos who have their media set up. It's a political concentration in Nigeria. It's deliberate. You see them, all of the, when you say Western, you will see the Northern own publishing media house in Lagos. You will see Igbo publishing media house in Lagos. They have names. You go to hear The Sun, The Nation, Vanguard. You'll be hearing The Punch. You'll be hearing This Day, and the rest of them. They were all publishing from the Western Nigeria. The control is there. So once the money goes out, there were those who were helping them to amplify, nobody died, nobody died. There is no evidence. There are people are just making all these things up on social media and all of that. That is what the media does. So if it was the same criminals who were organizing and fooling you till they got what they wanted, it would have been like Syria. The media would have presented the entire Nigeria like it's a Syria, like you are in Lebanon or something. But because they were the one that they have to do so much. And that was when it came to them that social media is so powerful. How can they control it? That means they can no longer control the information that goes out anymore. They lost control of that, but they still kept the control of the local media in Nigeria, where they could easily unleash some of these old relics to share their opinion on something that is in black and white. Now they are now saying this whole thing needs to stop. All this accusation against Tinubu, all this nonsense needs to stop. We need to wait for the court. We need to wait for Supreme Court to confirm whether Tinubu's certificate is issued by the Chicago State University or not. So when you turn your TV on now, you will see a lot of them there making opinion, telling people that they should not look at all the evidence, forget about them. You know, don't listen to all these people. All this nonsense. They call it nonsense. Forgery and perjury. They say it's nonsense. Baba. And it is only on social media that people are saying, what the hell is going on? If you turn on your radio in Nigeria now, millions of people believe that Chicago State University confirmed Tinubu that he graduated and they issued him a certificate. Millions of Nigerians right now believed that the story of him be doing heroin trafficking in America or forfeiting money in America and all of those things about drug dealings and all that, yeah? They believe that they are just lies from his enemies. They are not making people see any illegality here at all. Like, what waiting now? Shake out, don't talk, saying don't forge. They are telling people that they should wait for the court to say he forged or he didn't. Remember the tribunal, when all of the evidence were everywhere, these same supposed respected old men and women, they were grabbing a microphone and camera everywhere, telling the people to not mind all those things. They are just nonsense. At first, they said it was 10 years ago. It's over 10 years. This was like over 30 years ago. That's nonsense. Old case. So morality is no longer anything. But ladies and gentlemen, it did not start today. Okay? I need to take you back, history line a bit. I'm going to give you some, media cutout from the time Tinubu was first caught to have forged his certificate. It's not that people didn't fight, okay? But do you know that our own respected senior advocate of, nonsense or nuisance, Sir Femi Falana, was actually Tinubu's lawyer? Some of the talking points you are hearing today, there are so many people are using again today. They are not different from the talking points of 24 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. It is like a script. And I just kind of believe that you should all go, I've told you this before, you should all go get ready to live with Kolu and his criminals for 8 years. Now, if that gets you kind of angry, then you know what to do if you don't want to live under Kolu for 8 years. Apart from that, there is no help coming from anywhere. They will unleash these people. So I was reading a few times, a few places where people say, where is Mr. Femi Falana? Where is Mr. Femi Falana? Where is this fella? I said, well, what would you want him to say? Do you know his defense in 1999? In September 1999, when Tinubu was being dragged on the fact that he forged his certificate. You know what happened then? Tinubu presented a certificate to INEC. And in that certificate, he said he went to government college, Ibadan. So that came out as a lie. But he presented a fake certificate. Mind you, he was already elected, though. He was already sworn in. Okay? So he presented fake certificate then. He didn't go to any school called Government College, Ibadan. Okay? Then he presented a certificate that he went to University of Chicago. Not Chicago State University. University of Chicago. That was a lie. That was when he got caught. Do you know the person who advised Tinubu of what to do? Femi Falana. And what did he tell him to do? Number one, he told him, nobody can sue him and he cannot sue anybody. They were quoting the part of immunity in the Constitution. And he said, the only people that can really probe Tinubu of his certificate is going to be the State House of Assembly, the Lagos State people. Okay? So because of this, they now prompted the Lagos State House of Assembly to set up an investigation committee to investigate the allegation of certificate forgery against Tinubu. So when they set that up, Tinubu now went and attended that committee's hearing when they invited him. And there he told them he lost all of his certificates when Abacha bombed his house when he was in exile, fighting for democracy. Okay? So he couldn't locate all of them. That's why he had to use an affidavit and all of that. So they took his own statement, which means Tinubu confirmed that the document he presented is not fake. The reason why he couldn't produce the original was because the original were burnt. And the affidavit he presented is to prove what was in the original. And they now said, anybody that has the evidence that Tinubu did not, so you have to come and prove it, that Tinubu did not graduate from the University of Chicago. You have to come and prove it, bring evidence. And in their own ruling, they said, you have to bring the original certificate. You know, Tinubu no get them. And if you say the certificate Tinubu presented is fake, you must present the original. So they asked the petitioner, Chief Gani Fawemi, to go and look for the original certificate in order to prove that the affidavit that Tinubu presented is fake. So they now waited for 2 weeks. In that 2 weeks, they now came back and they ruled that Tinubu is discharged and acquitted. Do you get that? And what they said was that we did not plan to impeach Tinubu. We plan to investigate the allegation of forgery. And we found out that for 2 weeks, no single petition against Tinubu was submitted to them. Since they didn't receive any petition or against Tinubu, and Tinubu has already attended the panel and gave evidence, their final ruling is that there is no forgery allegation against Tinubu. Anybody who has any allegation against him can then go to court. So on that ruling of the, on that ruling of the State House of Assembly, that emboldened Tinubu, and they started seeing Gani Fawemi as a real enemy. The real campaign, media campaign, and all of that against Gani Fawemi just started after that. So Gani Fawemi was now seen as a problem. Kinigon, the House of Assembly already said it's already okay. They've cleared him. What is wrong with this man? So they started writing and writing. But there is one thing there. Chief Gani Fawemi didn't stop. He now sued. No, hang on. It was before then. Festus Keyamo, who was working in the chambers of Chief Gani Fawemi, now sued the State House of Assembly for the kangaroo trap they set in order to free Tinubu. He now sued them. And at the end of the day, the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled that Tinubu cannot be sued. It cannot be taken to court. The only time for anybody to sue Tinubu is going to be in 2003, which means if he loses the election in 2003, he is now free. You can then sue him for that crime. You know that Supreme Court ruling? That Supreme Court ruling, they are keeping it for Atiku. They are also keeping it for Obi. Obedient. I have told you this before. And I kind of know that a lot of you have learned how to manage your expectation, which is fine. A lot of you didn't know. Maybe you did know that on this issue of forgery, there is already a Supreme Court ruling that said Tinubu cannot be sued. So that is why in 2013, 2014, Jonathan's government decided to bring the case up again by charging Tinubu for perjury and forgery, that he submitted a fake document to INEC in 1999 when Jonathan's people told him that the thing with Tinubu and this CPC will do you, it go do you like Fimo. If you don't quickly cut the head of the snake, Tinubu, you are going to lose in 2015 with what these guys are planning. So Jonathan was advised to use that forgery of 1999 against Tinubu, so that they can use that to checkmate him as a compromise. Okay? Now he has no immunity. At least the Supreme Court said he had immunity. You cannot try him. You see, from the State House of Assembly to the court, to Supreme Court, Femi Falana was the King Kong behind Kolu at the time. He was his lawyer. I mean, he was just doing his job, Abi. He was doing his job. Even though he was also very vocal fighting the federal government, like in all of that. He was very prominent at the Oputa panel too. Barrister Femi Falana. And what he kept telling the court everywhere he went was that Tinubu get immunity. You cannot touch him. So, apart from that, within the League of Lawyers, as in all of the lawyers themselves, they started turning Chief Gani Faweyimi to a pariah. While the young Femi Falana, a promising bright lawyer around that time, was telling people, listen, this is not a case of morality. Okay? At least, there were so many of us who said people should not vote, because we knew that all of these things were scripted in 1999. But people voted anyway. So which means the immoral system has been put in place. So everything we do inside this system is based on the system we put in place. So nobody should come and start talking about morality. Okay? Why are you doing that? You are defending forgery. You are defending this and that. Yes, I am defending it because the system allows us to elect criminals. So since the criminals are elected, I'm going to do my job. That was his excuse. 24 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. I'll show you some. You know, it was at the early stage. I go to read some, it's like a newspaper article. Olisa Agbako, when the wahala of Tinubu's forgery started. Here is a newspaper article from Monday, September 20, 1999. Human rights activists in the country may be heading for a historic clash as Messias Olisa Agbako and Femi Falana may take up the defense of Lagos State Governor Bola Tinubu if their colleague Chief Gani Faweyimi makes good his threat to sue the governor over perjury. Already, another comrade in arms, Dr. Bekora Samkuti, has been pitted against Faweyimi, whose 7-day ultimatum on Tinubu to defend himself of the charges lapses today. There are, however, indications that Lagos State House of Assembly may today constitute a panel to investigate the allegations. Fawayemi had given the ultimatum last Monday in response to what he termed controversy surrounding Tinubu's eligibility as the governor of the state and threatened to proceed on the second phase of his crusade if he did not receive any reply in 7 days. His threat was equal to allegations of forgery of certificates first raised by an Abuja newspaper today in a recent edition where it alleged that Tinubu did not attend University of Chicago and Government College Ibadan as Tinubu claimed in his INEC form. The newspaper also alleged that Tinubu was born in 1952 instead of the 1954 which he filed in his form. Do you see that the scenario of 1999 is playing out again? So Tinubu ended up spending 8 years as governor, installed his successor, and then own half of the state's resources for life. So do you see the replay of that playing out now? Where supposed human rights activists or supposed people who knows the right from wrong were already fighting somebody they felt like, what is your problem? Gone, leave him alone. So here is that shot. Then if you go on again, there's a Vanguard of that same September. Okay, it said, Lagos lawyer, Mr. Festus Keyamo, yesterday filed an action. In fact, there is actually one. Let me see, where is that one? Falana says, this is where Falana sort of spoke about people talking about, morality and the rest, yeah? I'm coming on. Yeah. So here, let's go to this one, where Falana says, case closed, Fawayemi demands trial. Okay? Now, some war of words raged yesterday on the Lagos State House of Assembly's acquitter of Governor Bola Tinubu from charges of impropriety. Lawyer to the governor, Mr. Femi Falana, said the matter was effectively closed for the duration of his client's tenure. But fiery critic Chief Gani Fawayemi insisted there was a case to answer and that the alleged offenses were impeachable. Falana could not see how he would meet Fawayemi, Itoto, a long-time ally, in court over the matter since no one could legally sue the governor in private capacity. Even then, he said, persons who claim to have evidence against Tinubu will have to wait till 2003 to be able to sue him. Fielding questions from reporters, Falana touched on criticism of the House of Assembly for investigating the matter, as well as the contention of some lawyers that the matter should be investigated beyond the confine of the House. According to him, besides Section 308 of the 1999 Constitution, which gives the governor complete immunity from prosecution, the only person or group of persons that can sue him are those who contested the election with him. This was Falana. And there is a time limit for challenging the result of an election, as spelled out in the state government basic constitution and transition decree 39 of 1999. The decree, Falana said, stated that election petitions filed before the election tribunal must be determined within 30 days from the date it was filed, and that only a person who contested the election can file such a petition. With 4 months into the democratic dispensation and almost 9 months after the last elections were held, Falana said that, in quote, it is not possible in Nigeria today to declare the election of any governor or president null and void, adding that not even a card-carrying member of a party or an electorate has the right to institute legal proceedings in court against the governor, his deputy, the vice president, and the president, not to talk of somebody who did not believe in the transition program. He was referring to Gani Fawayemi. Falana said, perjury and forgery did not come up at all, since perjury meant a false testimony given in the course of judicial proceedings or in anticipation of judicial proceedings, adding that in the case of President Bill Clinton of the United States, he appeared before a grand jury and repeatedly lied on oath. That's Falana. Picking holes in the argument of forgery, Falana, relying on Section 35 of the Constitution, said that before one can claim forgery, he must produce the certificate allegedly to have been forged. He challenged those claiming to have evidence against the governor on forged certificate to produce such, adding that the onus was on them to prove the allegation and not the other way around. The lawyer said that although the governor's opponents were dropping the perjury and forgery allegations and pursuing the false declaration of on oath, the onus was still on them to prove the case. He said, what we are now made to understand is that the only one that still has to be taken up by the Inspector General of Police is the allegation that the governor made false declaration, which is taken care of by Section 191 of the Criminal Code. Under our law, as the law stands, and there are so many decisions on this point, including the case between Garuba and the University of Maiduguri, which was handled by Chief Ganefawaimi, up to the Supreme Court. The procedure of the law is that only a court of law can pronounce guilt on any citizen. It is so elementary. Only a properly constituted court of law can pronounce guilt on any citizen. No television house, no radio station, no newspaper can accuse a citizen of a criminal offense in Nigeria, try him, and condemn him. You must drag him to a court of law. That is the provision of Section 36(1) of the 1999 Constitution. You cannot sit in your house and call somebody a crook or a criminal. He has to be tried and adjudged guilty by an independent body. What we have said in the case of Tinubu, if you are so sure that you have this avalanche of evidence against him, you may have to wait till the year 2003. That is what the law is saying. Section 308, no amount of blackmail will take the place of law. So Falana said that this was 24 years ago, not today. Oh. So for those who are listening to me, oh, this is not today. Oh. This was Falana defending Tinubu 24 years ago. Okay. So Falana said that the IG could not investigate the case because even if investigations were carried out, Tinubu cannot be arrested. Asking, what is the purpose of the investigation? He spoke on the intervention of the House of Assembly, which investigated the allegation according to him. The chief judge of a state can only set up a 7-man panel of inquiry in the case of an impeachment proceeding against the governor. So according to him, the misconduct was found against the governor. And all the blah, 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 the blah, the blah, the blah, the blah. So this was 24 years ago when Tinubu was governor. So you have it on black and white right now. So whatever you are kind of thinking, what is different today is this. Okay, the difference today is that we have social media and we all have all this evidence. Okay, but what they are telling all of you now is that we can all sit down in our houses. We can all have all these evidences. But according to Nigeria law, except a court says those evidence were evidence and rule on them, we are all just talking nonsense and just shouting. It won't change anything. And I bet it, ladies and gentlemen, if you invite Falana to any media house today, it will repeat exactly the same thing. And it will tell you, it's not him, it is the law. Sure, you know. So that is when he was asked about morality. Let me go check that part. There's a part where he was asked about being moral, and he said, this is not a case of morality. Okay? So what happened is that, the law is the law. So anyone who feels like, you know what I mean, it's not right, they should fix it. But it was already wrong from the onset. This was like a military decree, you know? So I won't go look for that part. When I see it, I'll go show you. Anyway, let me move on a bit so that I don't drag that on for too long, okay? So this is where Agbako comes in. And around that time, something happened. Agbako and the rest just felt like, it is true. Hey, the status of assembly, what they did was wrong. How could they just let him, impeachment is the only option if Mr. Olisa Agbakoba, this was 24 years ago, Mr. Olisa Agbakoba, a senior advocate of Nigeria and a pro-democracy activist, was one of those who testified before the Lagos State House of Assembly allegation made against Governor. So below is the memo he presented. So this is a lawyer who went there 24 years ago, and he presented that Tinubu must be impeached if the House of Assembly find him guilty. Right? But somehow, the State House of Assembly said he didn't receive any petition or anything. But he said he presented a memo, not petition. Right? So this was also him. You know? Yeah, all of that. This was 24 years ago. Islam the press, like the press is not being, like, you know, they need to let people, blah, blah, blah. And then fast forward to 24 years after that, the same Agbako was asked about the state of things, INEC, judiciary, 6 months ago.
What the courts have been doing lately. I mean, there was a time you could say, oh, on the facts and the law, this is the likely outcome. Today you cannot, because there have been all kinds of silly decisions. The most silly was that concerning the President of the Senate, who, in order to become Nigerian president, rushed off to buy a ticket to be a presidential candidate of the APC, and that meant he did not take part in the senatorials. Lo and behold, he lost. He now ran back after the horse had bolted, clearly to anybody who has any brain, including the justice of the Supreme Court I might add, and he said no, that the man actually should be the senatorial candidate. That is the most ridiculous decision I've ever heard that the Supreme Court had delivered. So that's why it's difficult. Of course, I don't want to talk about the case of Imo State where everything was turned upside down. So I don't have the sort of confidence that I used to have in the judiciary, and I've not been surprised if this thing goes one way or the other. I cannot forecast the outcome. I have the legal tools and the factual issues. So if I put it into my computer, I know what answer it will give me. But I'm not part of the panel, so I don't know whether the justices will see it the way I'm seeing it. But I can tell you, from my own perspective as a lawyer of 45 years at the bar, that the answers are glaringly obvious. But as Oliver Wendell Holmes said in the Raleigh School of Jurisprudence, it is the prophecy of what the court does in fact, and nothing more pretentious, that is the law. So if you ask me what will be the outcome of the petition, first of all, I cannot say because it's sub judice. But second of all, I cannot even say because the Supreme Court itself is unpredictable. It ought to be predictable, which is why people are now beginning to question. There's a new school of thinking coming up to say, should the Supreme Court really be final? See what they're causing now? Should they be final, or should their decisions now be subject to parliamentary review?
This was 6 months ago when Sir Olisa Agbako decided to be honest for the last time. So the Supreme Court is currently being expected to take in all of this evidence, right? And disqualify Tinubu. And immediately after that, order for his arrest, his trial, and his final, conviction for all of his crimes. With the evidence that are available now, which the tribunal failed to look into. Now that the Supreme Court is being told of this latest evidential discovery, Sir Agbako is no longer comfortable with it. But just before today, here is Sir Agbako again.
What would you guys say to those who are of the opinion that both the bar and the bench are not doing enough
I agree.
to stamp out corruption
Absolutely.
in the judiciary.
I accept that. That is absolutely correct. We have complete legal and judicial failure. And I just hope that this is a wake-up call for all of us. Again, I go back to when I was NBA president. We've been shouting, speed of justice, speed of justice. Well, I had a project called the Speed of Justice. You can't go to court, lawyers block cases, judges are helpless. Using the old Judicature Act of 1873 in the UK, they say that the judges do not descend. That has been thrown away. Judges descend to the arena. A judge will shut a counsel up if he's wasting his time. So, what my take home from this is the public has lost confidence in us, and it's a big shame. They've lost confidence in the judiciary and in lawyers, and that's why the opinion is so divided. And I think we in the bar and the judges must wake up and regain the confidence of people. Because if there was confidence, this would not happen. They'll say, oh, NJC can sort it out. But if the NJC itself takes forever, as Mountway was implying, then people will say, well, look, you know what? I tell you this. A typical Nigerian. You remember the tire, burning tire thing in South Africa? What are you talking about? This man has stolen our money. He want to take him to which court? But in those days when I used to do a lot of criminal cases, somebody who became IG told me, wasting your time. So I know that this guy has killed my boys, so I'll shoot him dead. I had an application before the late Justice Kensington to exhume a dead body to prove that police people shot him. And that's when the CLO, when I was president, wrote the book Executive Lawlessness and the Police Rascality. So it's all been there. And that was what led to the new Administrative Justice Act. So we, as lawyers, we must up our game. We must give confidence to the public that we don't just go to court, take money from clients, tie up the cases in court, and nothing happens. Because if you look at the load of cases in court, the truth is that the results have been very poor. I must consider that issue that we need to up our game.
So some said it's Agbako Agba. So, but I kind of feel like it's Agbako Agba. Or it can be Agbako Agba. Whatever goes well for you. You know? So, that was Agbako Agba talking about people, the public losing interest based on mostly the recent pronouncement by the Supreme Court of Nigeria, which has put to question their credibility too. So what changed? Now that there are more evidence, Nigerians are being embarrassed all over the world. They are being called out here and there. Is it true that your president was a drug dealer? Is it true that a former drug dealer is now your president? Is it true that your president is a certificate forger, Agba forger, and the rest of that? So Agbako Agba now went on his Twitter. I think it was yesterday. Agbako the rant. I said, what's happened to this old man? He said, this madness of Chicago State University must stop now. The cacophony of discordant voices on Tinubu article over the certificate matter is completely out of hand. This utter nonsense from armchair lawyers is eating up Nigeria dangerously. Please, can we keep our opinions and views to ourselves, awaiting a decision of the Supreme Court? I am so ashamed to see lawyers on television arguing, one way or the other, on the merit of Chicago State University matter. This is most unhelpful. I call out all media that tolerate this nonsense of educating the Chicago State University matter on TV and newspaper. I urge the president of the Nigerian Bar Association to call out lawyers that breach rules of ethics by turning the media into a court of law. Can we please stop eating up our country? Let us allow the Supreme Court of Nigeria to make a judicial pronouncement which is binding on us all. This public nonsense must stop. Agbako Agba, Abi Agbako Agba. Did you see that? Why are you all talking about his certificate? Let us wait for the Supreme Court to tell us if it is fake or original. Let us wait for the court to tell us if it's it's original. Chicago State University cannot tell us how Tinubu got their certificate. They may not even know how he got their certificate. Why not just let us wait for Supreme Court? Now the Supreme Court justices go come look and say, okay. Chicago State University, they didn't produce this certificate. Yes, my lord. This is the position that we brought from America court. It's the position. Chicago State University said they didn't do this certificate. They say, how come you didn't bring the man who said that here? Say, but my lord, the position and evidence, no, that's technicality. Next time, you have to bring that Caleb Westbag. You have to bring him to Nigeria. And he has to come with original certificates so that we can now compare the two. Which one is original? Which one is fake? Or more, if you like, go and bring the president of Chicago State University, Atiku. Carry Caleb Westbag. May he come carry the printing machine. They print the certificate in 1979. Come pack evidence of 1979 certificate. Go that court. Because they are the ones who can tell us which. So if the Supreme Court will just be like, this look like, they hold the fake one. The one submitted to INEC, Abi. The one that pointed at Tinubu lied and he faked the certificate, Abi. Chicago State University didn't give him the certificate, right? The judge will hold it like this and say, is it my eyes? My lord. We will face another judge. Another justice of Supreme Court. My lord. Is it my eyes? This one look original to me, okay? That would be Ariwola, Chief Justice of Nigeria. That one would be like, I say, no, my lord, that one is the fake. Caleb Westbag will be like, sorry, my lord. He said, no, don't teach me, don't teach us our job. You have spoken, we have heard you. Say, my lord, that's the fake one, sir. I wanted to tell you that that's the fake one you are holding. We did not issue that one. That's not us. But is this one that is submitted to INEC? Yes, that's the one is submitted. That's the fake one. It's submitted to INEC, my lord. Who are you again? I am the registrar for Chicago State University, Caleb Westbag. Oh, okay. You are the one. Right. So this is the fake one, Abi. How do you know this is fake? Because this is the original one that we normally print in 1979, my lord. That is why we know that. And Tinubu did not come and collect any certificate from us. Okay. But this one look like original to me, okay? I said, no, it's fake, sir. It's so fake. Check the original and check it. Take a look at the two. See, my friend, shut up. My lord, please take a look for me now. This one look like a fake. That one will take it and say, no, there's no, because there's no fake here, my lord. So give it to the other justice there. Give it to him. Now there, Westbag go sit down. Atif could go sit down. The rest of you go sit down. You're going to watch the drama. When they come back, they will say, well, we have discovered that it is original. We can see the name of the university. We can see the motto of the university. We can see the signature there. And the logo is original. My lord, objection overruled. So, have you watched Yoruba movies before? When they will just capture somebody, they will say, okay, police capture big person, big thief. And they will now say, my lord, you see this person is the most dangerous person, my lord. We must make sure that he's punished. My lord, this person has killed hundreds of people, my lord. And now, we are brought him before you to sentence him to death, my lord. And then my lord will just be like, this is my judgment. And the whole court will just do, they will come tell you, say, una no get evidence. All of these things that all of you are shouting about and all of that, you cannot teach us our job. Tinubu submitted original certificate. If you don't believe me, go and read the tribunal judgment of Peter Umba versus Aduaga or so. Labour Party versus PDP in Enugu. That one is not foul. It just happened just last month, you know. Last month, it's gonna be this month. Last month. NYSC, National Youth Service Corps. They brought their own Director General, the person in charge of NYSC, Director General. They took him to the judges in court that the governor, the PDP governor there, forged his certificate, the passing out NYSC certificate. NYSC went there, they said, we did not give him this, we don't get any record of him. He not go anywhere. We didn't know, we don't know him. You know what the tribunal said? Since he has already submitted it to INEC, and INEC did not say it's fake, they, tribunal, they cannot come and rule and say it's fake. NYSC said they didn't give him certificate, sir. Sir, my lord, shut up your mouth. Don't teach us our job. You cannot expect us to discover fake documents here. It is the job of INEC to discover fake documents. So if they didn't do it, it's not our own to now help you discover it. No, you didn't help us discover it. Oh. We discovered it. We are just telling you that he did that. He already did it, my lord. This is the evidence. He did it. No. You are asking us to help you use evidence to cancel his election because he forged certificate. Abi? Yes, my lord. He forged it. Evidence. He forged it. But INEC said the certificate was okay. So would you want us to now say INEC is wrong? That is not okay. But they are wrong, my lord. No, you are wrong for expecting us to be the one to help you do something that should have been done. I'm giving you the interpretation of their courts. Don't let it sound somehow to you. Because right now, you see that Olisa, Agbako, Agba. I have told you this many times that they are going to release, they're going to activate people like that. Older people. You know, people that you are going to hear them say something and you're going to be like, what the hell? You'll be so shocked and surprised that you are like, how could that, you know, Maloma was surprised, did you? You just need to make sure you read your history very well. Majority of those parading themselves as a mouthpiece for you in Nigeria, they are positioning themselves for their own turn in that same establishment. You remember this, our brother? Aspire to perspire, maguire to acquire, require to ostire abinko. So that you can then become, they say fake it until you make it. Mr. Fela Durotoye, the former presidential candidate. You see that one in the middle? That also used to be one of the Ogbonge critique of APC. Agbako. Now, you see this segment, I just want to sympathize with a lot of you. Lagos Abobakus. Easy. Majority of you will be say, I won't die on social media. It can't be like say your destiny, your life. You did so many dirty things. But when it came to the time for you to probably be given a recognition to show that all of the things that you are fighting for on social media, oh yeah, go and do them. You are not useful to them. No vex, so, and if you want vex, make you vex. No be today. You understand? All of now we be Lagos Abobakus. I'm talking about some of you, they have turned to Alimajiri, the social media Alimajiri, the Bambi Allah squad. Okay? That Nigeria has really happened to you. A lot of you, you are soft, you are struggling. Even those of you who pretend to like have jobs, all of now they go through hell as we speak. So how do you feel when it was time to give good money to sellers? They usually just ignore. Majority of you who have turned to influencers on social media. Even the leader of the Ronukus, the Lagos Abobakus. You remember that guy that was Dayo Israel? Pastor Dayo Israel. The leader of the Jagavan army. You can also call him the leader of the Yoruba Ronukus of APC. And this is also kind of a good one for so many of you that are so comfortable in using one brush to paint the Yorubas because of all these Ronukus. We know those who were shouting, Yoruba Ronu, Yoruba Ronu, Yoruba Ronu, all because they believe that everyone from the eastern part of Nigeria, from the old eastern region, from the other regions created after that, to this Yoruba Ronukus, every one of them is Igbo. If if you come from anywhere after Ore in Ondo, the Yoruba Ronukus, they consider you as Igbo. I say, but I'm not Igbo, I'm from Edo. Shebi, they talk say, what do you call it? Biafra. You say, you're not part of Biafra. But you see, these Ronukus, these ethnic tribal jingoists from Yoruba land, we call them the Ronukus. Okay, because some are Ronukulas, but in the other word, they will say, Ironu Tinubu go kill you. Ironu Tinubu no fit kill me. Oh. You know that too. Now, Tinubu's policy, now in they take life out of you small. Some of you don't they use mouth to breathe now. Say, Baba, they use your nose against that. It's not enough. It's not enough anymore. To survive in Nigeria now, you have to breathe with your mouth. Like, I said, but they run. I said, I know they run, but I have to breathe. Because every here you can get right now, take on. Before Tinubu start charging you for, say, you won't breathe. Say, I can't breathe. Say, Tinubu, they charge everybody for breathing. And all of that. So, to the Yoruba Ronukus, anybody we know sound like unboot slaves or ass licker or a crumb eater shouting Yoruba Ronu like them when they were more or less like being forced into the worst of the worst, sort of human treatment, unfortunately, right? They have name for us too. They call us a bastard. People where they support person, we don't know him mama, we don't know him papa. Or person we deny him mama, deny him papa. Con the battle, date of birth, their childhood history, everything that every one of us probably has. People where they support person, we don't get papa. Shameless enough that he can't use his own father's name. And all of that. People where they support that one, they call all of us. We know our papa, know our mama, know where we come from. We know our own childhood, childhood friends, those we went to school with, and all of those of us we get history. The Ronukus, that they call us Somali. But to those of you who are easily so carried away, all these Igbo people, that is why nobody want to stay with them. These Igbo people, they like to dominate. When they talk, you said they talk. You come from Edo, you come from Delta, you are there from the interland of old Biafra. Eastern region, you know, say the Ronukus were trained to believe that all of Igbo, all of you be Igbo. You know, the Ronukus that believe that any clean-looking Yoruba is not Yoruba. Is that not even a shame? All of that happened before our very eyes. So now the leader of the Ronukus, who put up different schemes. Daddy does not sleep until 4 a.m. I don't know the sleep. Bats know the sleep for until 1 a.m. The Ronuku leader, Dayo Israel, did everything and he led some other charlatans to go and see Tinubu. At a point, I think they were shouting, Corona to his enemy. Say, what do you call it? It's this part. Something like, for his enemy because of which they won't give them all. Last, they no give them job. Now, one lady, the Tinubu appointed as a minister of youth. Majority of these Ronukus from north, from the south, from everywhere. At a point, Dayo Israel wrote, you can't believe this, Dayo Israel put a team together called Jagabanami. In that Jagabanami, 36 states of Nigeria, the lie he told to all of these ombud beggars on social media, all these Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris. Majority of them, their names are part of the names that your Israel was parading as Jagaban army. Because they told them, once Jagabandits become president, they will begin to give all of them jobs. They were monkeying about, fooling about at the time. And I'm not making this up, but they had over 20,000 youth. And they called them Jagaban army all over Nigeria. They now gave them positions. They were even fighting for relevance at a point. They can't leave Jagaban army, can't go bring aspire to Maguire, acquire to require, Feladuro Toye, motivational speaker, former presidential candidate. The people where I remember that Showore. You remember when Showore said, I don't join these people, they get agenda. Tokwe Fashua. Feladuro Toye. Omasheo. Do you know how many of you young people in 2018, 2019? During that time, that felt like it's the time for the youth. We need to take a well, Mr. Fall for Ramsha anyway. All of us fall for Ram. Because me, I was just interested in any young people that is ready to take up on the establishment. You are my friend. As long as you are not defending or promoting the establishment itself. But we're all food. Fella, if you are watching my broadcast right now, Emma Krombuni, wherever you are, okay? Oma Krombuni, alaye? Because I use this my platform to also promote that fraud. About everybody, they look for their own meal ticket. You remember when I told you something about that? As long as this Forgery is concerned, if you see anybody, including me, Maiyegun, and you know this is Maiyegun's diary, okay? Hold me to it. If you see anybody that is doing so well in his life and suddenly started telling you that he wants to come and fight for his people. That is why he wants to be a governor. He wants to be a senator or rep. Agaga, especially those that will come back from abroad. You know, it's a zobo that is easily sold in Nigeria. Okay? If you give the money to the right people, all right? You can get what you want. I told you, I said, if you see anybody that is doing well in his private life, and they suddenly turn around and said, I am coming back to Nigeria to come and contest elections so as to get involved. I don't want to continue to complain. I don't want to, we are all just talking. We need to get involved. We need to be involved in all of this. We need to make sure that we get, it's all lies. If you see my poster anywhere, Maiyegun for rep, I go tell you, say, I mean of Agba, you see this Nigeria as it is structured. I have my life in the UK. I am a very successful story. If you see anybody coming from abroad, want if and they have been told what they stand to gain. Sure, you understand me now? And if you see anybody coming from abroad that says, I'm coming to come and work for my people, he's not coming to come and work for his people. I am sorry that I may not be able to give you the English name of Ikun and Dedere. They are both Bushrati. I think they call them mackerel. Is it mackerel or be cockerel? You shall remember Ikun and Dedere. You see those one that is coming from abroad with his money. He's looking for where that money will bring that return. You see those ones that are waiting in Nigeria. It is their own career job. They are criminals too. You are welcome. You are very welcome. You are welcome. Somebody said it on this program that they spent over 1 billion naira. You see, by the time you land in Nigeria, if you told yourself from America that I understand the politics of my area. See me, I understand the politics of Ogun State a lot. I'm not going to say more than anybody, but I understand it so much that I would not take my 1 billion naira and go to Ogun State with the intention of helping my people. Because the moment I started spending that money, I go no say, this is never going to be about helping my people. When they collect my money, helping which people? Which people? 1 billion. On top kini. Now then you go no. Even if you didn't leave America with that premonition, as you go no say don't enter the 419 hand. As they use jazz on you, yourself go they use jazz on them. When I go come they use jazz, talk to una self. They go they call you senator. They never elect you. You never even win a primary. They go they call you also honorable. Hello, honorable. So they go honorable for me 10 million. They say chairman they read 10 million. And chairman be like, you don't catch me. That's fine. Because they don't for Gumbara so una go they use jazz talk to una self. You go suddenly turn you will be say your life where you they come from is about I have a meeting at 9 o'clock. I need to see Danny at the coffee shop at 7:30, and I need to hit the road by 7 o'clock. So that by 11 o'clock, I'm going to be back in the office because I have another meeting at 2 p.m. and it's a business meeting. Now your life is that too. But when you get to Nigeria with your money, you will now turn to Elegbeji Ado. They're going to tell you, say, you need to be careful. You could come be like saying, a war, you won't go fight. You won't go help your people. I want to come and help my people. And we need to run for office in that corrupt system. By the time they were done with you, finally, I have testimonies. So some of them are watching me right now. They are sitting down there and like, Maiyegun. Because it is true. Now, at that moment, you go, no, say nobody if you help them. It is what the system is, right? So that's why I'm saying that if you see anybody that now come back and say, I am coming to come and fight for my people, Baba Agba, 2 years ago, don't fight for anybody. Nobody is fighting for anybody. And that is why I like what I do. Get people who have stones to grind with the corrupt system in Nigeria. Get them together, okay? With one focused, it's like a laser focused attention to what they want. So that everything they do is on how to gather steam, gather strength, and go for what they want. The system is so corrupt that as Nigeria is currently sinking, Tinubu is hiring vuvuzelas, people that can talk, motivational speakers, those who can convince you on TV, those that will tell you to don't worry. There is a 40,000 megawatt electricity coming. They are working on it. Okay? They are working on the new refineries. In fact, if you see the economy, don't listen to enemies. They just want to distract the Mr. President. He's working day and night. In fact, yesterday, we came back from Qatar. Okay? Before we came back from Qatar, Mr. President was on here when he was on the phone with Joe Biden in America. Meanwhile, we were just going to have a stop by in Germany. Guess where we're coming from? Japan. It's all because of Nigeria. People that can tell you all these lies with straight face. And they will call the name of God like it's nothing. Are the people Tinubu is hiring right now? Not economists, though. That are going to come back and work it out and say, you don't hire over 400 people on media. Kilo de shogun la jeni. Even people where they construct powerhouses, where they call the situation room, abi control room, media room. They know they hire 400 people. Kilo de. Because they have a lot of cleaning, bleach. They will have to use bleach, use every cleaning product to clean the name of Tinubu every minute. Like your social media. They need a lot of people everywhere. Some of them would, you know how they work, you don't know how they work. You will see all of them on social media and do everywhere. They will be dropping hot takes, okay? And they will, you see, they will be analyzing. Oh my show. You will be reading analysis like this. You'll be like, only God, only if they can do all of these things. Huh? I really wish they can do all this. And it sounds so good. Eh? I actually pray that they can do all of this. You know, people that can talk like that to you. Now, the people Tinubu, they hire with that. A pound is now 1,250 naira. So if I give you 1,000 pounds sterling, that is going to be 1.2 million naira. That used to be 220,000 naira 8 years ago. So what is that? How many 200 naira? I mean, how many 220 naira would you see in 1,250 naira? At least you will see 5 conveniently. Abi? We'll go just round them up and call them 6. Or even 5.5. That means Nigeria naira lost 550% of its value in 8 years. And all of you can tell in your everyday life called high cost of living today. You all can tell. They told you they were going to give you minimum wage. The likes of Fela Durotoye are going to tell you that there is no best president in the world that has given the Nigerian workers the best deal in their lives. What is that deal? Minimum wage in Nigeria is 23 pounds. Tinubu has added another, another 30 pounds to it. And it is going to take it to 53 pounds. In Nigeria naira, Nigeria minimum wage is 30,000 naira. After tax, you will take home 22,000 naira in salary. In everywhere you go, they say minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000 naira. How can you be paying? Nobody is even collecting 30,000 naira as minimum wage in Nigeria. They will remove your tax, remove this, remove that. You go home with 22,000 naira if you're collecting minimum wage. Is that worse? So Tinubu is adding 35,000 naira to that 30,000 naira, making it 65,000 naira, 53 to 55 pounds. But that is no minimum wage. They're just going to get that for 6 months. After 6 months, they would have to go back to their 30,000 naira minimum wage. Everybody find their level because Nigeria is broke. Subsidy that actually triggered most of this wreck and cost of living. They removed subsidy. Subsidy is gone. You remember that? That same day I came here and I said he is lying. Subsidy is not gone. A lot of you probably watched my video 4 months ago when I said, why was he lying? What I didn't tell you then was that I said he was only working on how to replace those who are collecting the subsidy money from those Bokuwari put there to his own people. Once that transfer is done or almost done, subsidy will come back fully. Abi? That's what I told you. Okay. Well, what I didn't tell you or what I didn't know then was that their plan was actually to increase the pump price, the petroleum price in Nigeria. And you know, everybody, when you know subsidy is gone, it's gone, okay, it's gone, oh, it's gone, it's gone. You know, every price is going to go up anyway. So once they increase it, then they bring the subsidy back. And then they will now tell you, we need to pay the subsidy. If not, can you pay 1,500 naira per liter? Because it has always been the blackmailing tool used by successive governments in Nigeria. It just got sort of, the corruption just got industrialized by these rogues. Maybe you are already paying 610 naira now. Some people are paying 700 per liter in Nigeria now. Okay? And they are telling you that the refineries are going to work, like Bokwari told you for 8 years, Abi. So if you want to believe them, that's fine. But right now, what they will come back and tell you is that if they don't pay subsidy, then you must be ready to pay 1,500 naira per liter. So when you hear that, you will think they are doing you a favor again. They'll say, we are building the refineries, but let us just pay the subsidy temporarily. In order for you not to get triggered, they won't alarm you in a way that they will just keep the tempo based on what Bokwari left it. Shebi when they remove subsidy, they themselves came out and said the fuel consumptions by Nigerians and all of that daily reduced by 60%. They said that themselves, Abi. That is the template they are practically showing you gradually. The template is going to be, or the remaining 40% in call is going to cost you 2 trillion naira. It's not going to be 4 trillion this time. Not right away. It's not going to be 5 trillion like Bokwari. They will just throw it in. 2 trillion. Because you know who was collecting subsidy? NNPC. And who is in NNPC? Bokwari's people, the Kiyari and the rest of them who sold Nigeria NNPC, National Oil Company. They sold it to themselves after they got political appointments to manage it. They met an institution. They got politically appointed to hold the institution. And in the space of 8 years, they sold the institution to themselves. They were all shareholders there. Meanwhile, the staff of the institution and the budget of the institution is still being picked it's still being picked up by Nigeria government and Nigeria people. But when it comes to what happened inside, it is a private company. I have never seen any this open fraud in my life. So the same NNPC was paying trillions of naira to some faceless oil marketers. But do you know something? The only person authorized to import fuel into Nigeria is the same NNPC of Nigeria. So the guys in NNPC are defrauding Nigeria and they are paying themselves for doing a good job. So what Tinubu need is that, how do you do it? This is how we do it, this is how we do it. Okay, fine. You, appointed. You, out. So I want to see how that happens. So you report back to me. Then they bring their own memo. Sir, we cannot go for the broke right away. Let's start with small money, 2 trillion, sir. Or 3 trillion, sir. Say, okay, yeah, put that together and put it in the depth of us. They normally do it. So yeah, go and do that. Then the likes of Feladro Toye and the rest of them, Akuri Nigalai, and the rest of them will have to come and explain it to you. How Tinubu is working so well to save you. Do you know what it takes for you to be buying fuel for 610 naira? If you know what Tinubu is doing, you'll be so grateful to him. If it's not because of him, by now, you would have started buying petrol at 1,500 naira. And you'll be asking yourself, but you guys promised us one refinery every year 8 years ago. So you are not even showing responsibility that if Nigerians are going to buy fuel at 1,500 naira, the same fuel they produce in their own country. But 8 years ago, you promised them refineries, one refinery every year. Before you came in, Nigerian refineries were working at over 45% capacity. Nigeria was not importing 100% of its local consumption. No, 8 years ago, under these guys, the entire refineries in Nigeria died. They spent $11 billion. Put that together in today's exchange, that's over 10 trillion naira. On Nigerian refineries, they didn't produce one single drop of oil for 8 years. Nigeria now relied more on importation of this fuel. The party that didn't do all of that, they are going to come back and blackmail you and say you should be grateful to Tinubu. If it's not because of him, you would have been paying 1,500 by now. Don't listen to people who are trying to make you hate your governor, your president. You should be praying for him. If you know the risk is taking for you. And just like that, the sheepies will follow. And all of the social media sellers, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the all risers, the Buharidins, the Buhari Diderins, the Buhari Dinotus, and the Buhari Dijatus, Buhari Shukus, the Ungos, the Haris, the Uneka Haris, all of these bat idiots, as you call them, they will spread that same message and say, you should be grateful that Tinubu is trying to save you while they dip you further in perpetual generational poverty. Think about that. It is a game. To them, it's a game. But we are talking about your life. Your life is a game to them. They are playing games with your lives. So they will gaslight you. They will blackmail you. They will call you names, ungrateful. And unfortunately, you probably still don't have that courage to stand up and mobilize. Not yet. They will push you there. But it's just going to be so brutal. Oh, they're going to be they will psychologically assault the rest of you. You're going to see things going up in smoke, and they're going to tell you that you are just the enemy and hater. You hate them. And that is why you don't see anything good. There are so many more I would like to share, but it seems that I have exhausted all my time. I have missed a lot of you because I've not been around. Now, if you are there tonight, you should just give me that thumb up, right? And so I am going to take calls. But before I do that, let's, the news out there now is that Oloye Sunday Igboho has been officially released by the government of Benin Republic that he could continue his journey. And then 24 hours after that, he is now with his family in Germany. So he kind of shared one grateful message of people that have been so supportive, those who stood by him from Nigeria, the Yorubas worldwide, Yorubas in diaspora. I think that is where we fell into. So, it couldn't really do more than that anyway. So we fell into Yorubas in diaspora that supported and all that. So he's safe now. He's in Germany. And then, and that's something. And today also happened to be his birthday too. So to everybody, you can possibly send out your own birthday message and all that. But apart from that, I'm going to put us on a short hold when I'm going to make myself a fresh cup of tea when I get back. We can have a chat for like half an hour before I call it a night. So thank you. Remember, you need to drop your own offering like that broadcast. So we are pretty much going to press on the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which means that, as long as these men are safe, there is hope. But for them to be dehumanized or even killed under the criminals, we just want to do that to everyone that they considered as a potential threat. So we safeguard those who haven't been into their trap, and we ensure that we stand in solidarity for those they are holding illegally. So on all that, thank you, and I will be back. Hello there.
Hello, Maiyegun General.
The Prince. How are you, sir?
At the hello to Kado Mike. At the hell.
How your side?
Wow. That's fine. Are you?
Well, I'm here as usual. So I've had a very, very busy week, and I'm still going to have a very, very busy week. So we're having a family holiday away for a week. So we're kind of preparing for that, and somehow it's been hectic.
Fine.
But yeah, I'm still here. The Prince.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. We missed you yesterday.
I know, I miss you too. I miss everyone.
Yeah, Papa, I want to remind our people Temple of Truth and also everybody worldwide that this month is one of the month to remember. October is a month to remember. You know, on 20th of October 2022 was the day that the gate of hell was open at Lekki Toll Gate, and our people were killed. A lot of Nigerians were killed there. Those youth hoping the future of tomorrow. I'm reminding everyone so that people should come out throughout the whole world and also remember and call on the world for them to know that this atrocity is still going on. All right. Yeah.
And
so 20th of
worse
this
is even going on in Imo State by the Nigerian army, same Nigerian army, perpetrating even worse genocide right now in Nigeria. That's not really receiving the expected attention or the supposed attention.
You know, Maiyegun, that brings me also. And also, the same month was when Wike in Obigbo, you can remember Obigbo massacre. You know, that same month was when
Obigbo massacre
Wike
started
unleashed
from the 22nd. And it got really, really brutal from the 27th of October. Well, in Yoruba, we say, Okulakaye, Okwa Igbagbe. Very good sound mind there, Prince. Go on.
Yeah, you know, our people do forget easily. You know, that Lekki Toll Gate was is owned by Jagabandi, and he under his watch, his children and grandchildren were slaughtered there. I call that gate of hell, a gate of bondage. You know, and we are watching. Let them continue. You know. Nothing lasts forever. You know, both the soldier and the police that they are using, all of them are inside this quagmire. Then talking about the Udrene areas, that hopeless Ozodimba, you know, the Supreme Court, you know, Buhari brought bandits. Buhari was the first person that brought bandits into Supreme Court when he introduced Tanko technicality. Since then, and they planted this murderer in Imo State. He has been slaughtering people at Uzodimba. You know, Uzodimba is a gorilla. You know, that's the meaning of Uzodimba. So he has been slaughtering people anyhow. And everything that has a beginning has an end. That's that's one thing they should know. You know, so Maiyegun,
the Prince,
the Supreme Court, you know, the wig they are putting on like a vulture. The people that they learn that thing from, they are no longer putting that wig on their head. You know, they dress decently and come to court. But the colonial mentality is still there. You know, since then that they brought Tanko technicality, our court was also infiltrated with the repentant Boko Haram, just as is in the army, police. The court since then is only technicality, cheap way of dispensing the justice.
It's not about justice anymore. It's about technicality.
It's about technicality. Oh, you didn't come to court in time. You come late. So therefore, your case is hereby disqualified.
Prince I always forgot. I'm glad we are talking about courts now, right? In Ogun State,
yes, Baba.
right? In Ogun State, where they proved the rigging of the election by the current dubious Dapo, the governor there, all right? And sorry for this, okay? I'm just going to use that to tell this story, Prince.
Yes.
Now,
yes,
dubious Dapo is a friend to Amosun. So in 2015, he gave Amosun $1 million as his own support for Amosun's second term, so that Amosun would now give him ticket as APC, as a senator, so that when Amosun finishes in 2019, Dapo Abiodun will be ready then to run for governor, coming from the part of the states that is expected to possibly produce the governor, the permutation. So what Amosun now did was, Amosun now went on to make a deal with another person, another party, which is a Buruji Kashamu. So Buruji Kashamu wanted to be senator too. Okay. So, but you know, it's the presidential election first before governorship. Okay. Now, cut the long story short, that Abiodun didn't become senator in 2015. So by 2019, he has fallen out completely with Amosun, but he was able to parley with Tinubu and the rest. So he became the candidate. Then he became the governor. So you see this election this year, Benga Daniel and Amosun, they were also friends pre-2003. Their own story also ended in a fight that is so popular. So in 2019, Dapo was looking for allies. So he now dragged Benga Daniel to himself. Okay? So everything Amosun took from Benga Daniel, Dapo Abiodun gave them back to him. So in 2023, there were already people up in arms against Dapo. He won't go for second term, and he didn't win the election at the end because of this. Okay, but something happened when the election happened this year. Senatorial and presidential election were done together, so they were all shouting "Ashiwaju, Ashiwaju," and this and that. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the governorship election is going to be next in March. Benga Daniel started working for the son of Baba Jebu, Ladi. Remember that Dapo believed that he brought him out of political oblivion, that Amosun sunk him. But it wasn't even up to a whole month. Benga Daniel was already in bed, okay, with another person, another party, to remove him. So what Dapo now did was that declare me winner, Mo go fight him in court. You understand? So they declared him winner, and they are currently in court. So at the tribunal, you know what the tribunal judge said in their ruling? They said, even though if there are evidence, but the fact that PDP lawyers use this word, that INEC purportedly declared that Abiodun winner, for using the word purported, on that base, technically, they are throwing out the whole case. In Ogun State, they are appealing now, and they will go to Supreme Court talking about courts, because you mentioned court now. That's why I have to tell you that background story and what it is now. So when you hear the story that Dapo Abiodun wanted to demolish Benga Daniel's wife's shopping complex, this was him coming back to say, how could I be so nice to you that you didn't want me to come back? That what you actually did was that the whole Ijebu, where we come from, went for Ladi Adebutu Omo Baba Jebu. And he believed that it was Benga Daniel who did all of that work. How could you do that to me? But don't worry. Momo will rig first. We'll go meet for court. When court finally legitimizes the rigging, I go come back to you. Purported is the reason why they throw the case out. Purported. How could you say INEC purportedly declared him winner? He's declared winner. Just say INEC declared him winner. Why did you say purported? Because of that purported, this case is hereby dismissed. Nigeria courts.
Maiyegu,
Prince.
Maiyegu, thank you for this explanation. You see, this thing that is happening, why wouldn't I ask for my Biafra? Whether good or bad, why wouldn't I ask for Biafra? How can I carry one container in one hand? Container business. At the other hand, I'm using it to fight terrorism. I'm using it to fight those that even my money in the bank is not safe. Somebody in the bank is working in the bank can give information to scam outside, to clear the money I've suffered for many, many years, you know, to put in the bank. Is that a country? You know, let us, Maiyegu, you see, these people that, these Agbadorians, Kolu told them that if they expose his identity of female to male, to male, that it will cause him irreversible or irreparable damages.
So they will cause him irreparable damages. And the irreparable damages are what these older people in Nigeria are telling us that now we the cause him. It's not him. Like what the hell?
Maiyegu, na Kolu take a mouth to talk and say this thing will cause them irreparable damages.
That's right.
First way they can't defend them. This way they can't defend them. It don't be madness, Maiyegu. It's madness. Now that person need to go to psychiatry. Let them shake the person's brain.
Yeah.
Maybe the brain there's something that is very, very bad and that rotten.
Maybe there is no
they used to diagnose
anymore.
that person. Somebody that you are defending said that this thing that that has happened to him is irreparable damage. So what are you defending? Even if you're a lawyer, is it that lawyer has sicko in the head? That's Nigeria for you. That is Nigeria for you. If that country is not break up and I have my Biafra, everybody go chop COVID. Everybody go chop COVID.
I beg you. I don't get antibody. So anyway, Prince Jejema, I'll take this one. Thank you.
Respect, Baba.
Nice one.
Well,
so free the innocent man is a very simple request, I would say. Hello there.
Hello, Maiyegun. How are you?
Hello, sir. I am very well. How are you?
I'm doing super great. God bless you, Maiyegun.
Amen.
God bless you. Happy
Dr. Agbede.
Happy Tuesday. Yes. It's me.
Your
Happy
voice
Tuesday.
is different today. Oh. Are you at home?
Happy Tuesday. No. I'm at the conference meeting, but don't worry. I'm somewhere. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you again tonight, sir. Sir, please.
Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much. Yeah. Maiyegun and the rest of the Temple of Truth. I haven't listened to what you have said today, the 10th day of October 2023, about what happened 24 years ago concerning Tinubu certificate fake issue.
That's right.
Okay. Thank God Almighty that this is now 2023.
That's right.
Things have changed.
Right. A lot has changed.
Bottom line, yes, a lot have changed. Bottom line is, we shall see this time around who is going to love last. Let us wait and see. So, meanwhile, let me thank these people for now for making the job of FBI very easy. Kenneth Okonkwo, Dele Farotimi, Chief Aredele Momodu, David Undanyi, MaiyegunDiary Politico. So these 5 people, for now, they're making the job of FBI very, very easy. Meanwhile, FBI, they're giving the go-ahead for this to make a world press conference. So that go ahead, already giving that go ahead. So I'm now taking what to do. Yeah, correct.
Right.
So as I said, we just thank God that this is now 2023. Things have changed. Maiyegun, when you mentioned 24 years ago, how many of our head of state can go to UN General Secretary and at that minute they can cancel the meeting? This has not happened before. You see, that is food for thought. Food for thought. All meetings were cancelled at the last minute. That is food for thought for them to ponder with. God bless you, and God bless the going. Thanks so much.
God bless you too, sir. Thank you so much for that. Everything else as expected is classified. Hello there. You might need to possibly just mute that broadcast. You are connected. Can you do that?
Yeah, hello, Maiyegun.
Hello, sir. You need to move away from that room or mute it too, sir.
Okay. My good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you?
Well, very well. Thanks.
Okay. I just want to tell you, you're doing a good job.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I'm calling from where it's called Agbako in Spain.
Oh, okay. Right there from Spain. You just want me to stick to that? You want to give me?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
My name is Owen.
Owen. That's the one I can always remember.
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight, sir?
Okay. I'm all right. I just want to share a bit what happened to me today. I went to drop a friend in France. He's returned back to UK. Then on my way coming back after dropping him, I've never had any control in my entire life since my 16th year in Spain. So on the border to Spain to France to Spain, because I live in the border between Spain and France. On my way coming back, France National Police, they now saw me and stopped me. They searched every bit of my car. Around 7 a.m. in the morning, they searched everything in my car. I opened everything. Say, calm down.
Is that something unusual?
No, it's not. It's not. No. It's not usual because it's a border. It's a free.
You just have to show your identity, and that's you.
Exactly. But today they were three, and they start. Yes, today was different. To be honest, so I just remembered you to say, this will happen to everybody. It doesn't really matter whether you are citizen anywhere, but it will must happen to everybody today. So I just want to share it today.
Man, thank you so much, because you see, stories like this, as long as they don't end in any sort of brutality or fatality and all that. I'm happy that you are sharing them, because to some people, it may be so so little. For somebody who has fought through a system and stay legalized enough that all this kind of harassment are no longer theirs anymore. Man, we fought for stopping harassment in this different part of the world ourselves. Only for us, after we have managed to scale through all the legal roadblocks, then for us to now be tagged and be profiled again. Many people won't understand this. So thank you so much for sharing, sir.
Exactly.
You have a good one, okay?
You do well. Thank you so much. And you too. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, like I said, a lot of people won't understand. You see, when you see somebody who is American or British or Canadian or Qatari or South African or any other passport that you normally knows why you decided to get them, only for you to have them with you, and here we are. You are still being kind of, profiled in a way that to so many people, now that second passport, they save them. Imagine you present your Nigerian passport and being treated just anyhow, and you know why. They're only for you to bring another passport to save yourself. A lot of people may not understand what this simply means psychologically, especially when you are with your family. If you are alone, fine. Not fine, but I say I don't mean fine. You can manage it, Sabi. But when you are with your family and your whole family is subjected to that kind of profiling, a lot of people will understand. Sorry for keeping you waiting there, my caller. How are you, sir?
Hello, Maiyegun Baba.
Sir, how far?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm very well, sir.
It's nice to speak to you again,
It
bro.
is a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for calling in. Please.
Yeah, just to support what the last caller have just said. I returned from Lagos today. And when I got to Amsterdam, for the first time, the pilot, they took us through a different route. They didn't mix us all up with the crowd. And I was wondering what's going on. Because normally there's a way out, but they were waiting for us. There's a police dog. All the officers, they're standing around, and we have to queue up.
And they're like frisking you and checking you, and
they frisk the dog first, smell through and all that.
Wow.
And after that, everyone, they ask you questions. Even me, I was like, look at my age now. I'm carrying a British passport. And it's like, it's asking me, you went to Paris last month? I said, yeah, I took KLM. So it was through Air France and I stopped at Paris. Is that a crime? No. And you went to Spain 3 months ago. I said, so what? I'm just asking questions. They like physically stop everyone and ask them questions. It's like, what's going on? What? But come to think of it now, I'm starting to realize the reason why. It's not because of anything, but what our country has become.
You know, the instruction they've been given. You need to be careful when you see Nigerian passengers. All of them, just be careful with them, okay? You need to check out for this.
Exactly.
And that alone, being singled out when you are coming back from a journey, you're just coming down from the plane and you are subjected to different kind of God knows. When you are actually thinking of going home to get some rest and get yourself ready for whatever is coming next. A lot of people don't understand what this means, but they will do it to all of us. All of us.
They will. They will. Even, I spent time in Nigeria and I just find out. I keep telling them, you cannot plant lie and say,
harvest truth.
By God's grace, it will become truth. It will not become truth. Now. You cannot plant something and hope to reap something else. It will never happen. I keep telling, they have excuses for everything.
I tell you.
Even when I got to Heathrow Airport and we were waiting for our luggage, and we just got into a conversation, and the guy was even telling me that they've released Agba, and you know what? He would dare not go to Nigeria. They would just kill him. So why you guys just talk about? You give even what government has no plan to do. You are the guys. Once you complain about anything in Nigeria, people that are suffering will be telling you. I say, so what's your game?
Well, you are next. Imagine people telling me on this program that I am next. Next for what? What did I do? For telling about what they are doing to you? You are right, oh. There are those who call on them. I say, deal with them, Charade. I want Dabi Mosheda.
And I was telling the man, I said, if some people did not fight for us, this country, as we come in here now, they will probably chain us up. And instead of you to, even if you cannot do anything, you just keep your mouth shut. If you cannot encourage them, you keep your mouth shut. It's you lot that will be saying, if you go to Nigeria, they will kill you. If you say this, I said, what are you gaining from that?
Well, the Yorubas, not those who are asking him to be killed. And when they couldn't kill him, they were asking, why did he not turn to cat? Why did he not turn to this or that? They wanted him killed. Remember that, sir? Because he's asking for Yoruba nation. And they wanted Yoruba president. Now they have the Yoruba president. We are all at it.
Even I say, you guys are genuinely suffering. Or better still, stop asking me for anything because I'm not going to give you anymore. Because if you think as you claim to be suffering, you beg me for this, you beg me for that, and I oblige you. So that means I'm the one that is stupid. Because if you can't see that you're suffering under this government, and now I'm telling you you're suffering, and I'm still giving you money, that means I'm not sensible. So I bet you guys are the one showing me that I'm stupid. So I'm not giving you anything anymore. Don't come to me and tell me you are hungry, because the moment I start showing you the root cause of your problem, you give them excuses. Lagba Olorun, by January, Lagba Olorun, by February. I say you guys are so stupid.
I mean, Lagba Olorun, by middle of next year, you will see what this country will be like. Everybody will be thanking Asiwaju, and you'll be like, who is talking? Look at who is talking. Somebody who has no clue what is going to be his own fate next minute in a country that is certain.
He cannot even feed himself. He's hungry. And they expect me to give him some money.
By December, $1 will be £1. I'm like, what the hell? In fact,
I said, look at, he's been there for 3 months. Within 3 months, Naira has skyrocketed. Everything is happening to you guys.
And you think when you are at home then? So now from
you're thinking next year. And then you still say, by next year. I said, listen, guys, don't just come to me and complain that you are hungry. Oh, yeah, you see, sir, I will come to work and there's no money to go. Don't tell me about it anymore, because obviously I'm the one that is stupid and you are wiser than me. So if you are enjoying it at Lagba Olorun, everything will be okay. Don't come to me and see. I can't understand these people.
I mean,
man.
Somebody, I was talking to a very close person of mine, and then it was like them, trying to kind of talk me into getting something out, right, as usual. But like close person, they will get it anyway, right? And I was like, man, you have been taking all this money and you only tell me about your business. You never actually told me about profits. Like, it was like a free money and the rest of that. Like, if this money was a loan and I ask you to pay back, how are you going to pay back? I was like, then another part, it was like, how could that be 500 grand? 500,000, that's a lot of money. Man, the way you call money in Nigeria, man, is so massive. 500K. Where person go see 500K now? They are telling me God will pay me. No, where I live, God no they pay like that too. I have to go and work.
Okay. Exactly.
I said, but God will provide that job. Are you crazy? Like God provide that job so that I can use 500,000 to come and pay this. Like, why didn't you ask that God to do it for you? Like you just tell me that, you know what, Maiyegun, don't worry. God will provide the 500,000. Don't worry yourself. I'll go and ask God. Because I know I cannot ask God in this Nigeria. You are brother, those who can ask God. Like I know God will do it for you. Do you get that, sir? The ability of thinking.
Let me share a little joke before I go.
Sir?
let me share a little joke before I go. You see, my brother, I keep telling him during the election period, because I was in Nigeria, vote wisely. Hey, àwọn Igbo Nigeria, Yoruba turn one. I said, my brother, hey, I am telling you. So now that I return, I just say, my brother, you must be really enjoying now. Everything is okay done.
You are not telling me.
And he started laughing. And I say, Tigbo ba na ilegba meji. O ma dùn yín gan. But tí Yorùbá fún yín 20. Only do it, rara. You don't feel the pain. If it's a Yoruba man that is whipping you to 20 good latches, you say, very nice. It's very nice. It's Yoruba latches. It tastes good.
So if
For the Igbo
is
ones,
giving you 20 lashes at a go, I mean, you just have to be like, it's fine. But Igbos cannot give you 2 lashes. The world will collapse.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That is more painful.
And we must never allow that. We must never let that happen. So here we are, sir. Everybody is what? Everybody don't chop up. Because
they chop breakfast. So thank you.
Bugwala ma je breakfast. Asiko to ni kaluku ma je tie ototo ni. Summa bilai.
Hello there.
Hello. Yeah, Maiyegun.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Good evening. I'm fine. Thank God I'm getting you today.
I'm happy
I've
you did.
like tried many times in the past. I think I've spoken to you twice before.
I mean, I could tell, but
I don't know if you remember.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I spoke to you concerning Tinubu?
Right.
That we are just looking at the tribunal case.
We were expecting the
but I told you people that what?
Right.
Yes. I told you people then that you people should not be worried about the tribunal. You people should be more worried about Tinubu capturing Nigeria. And I made a statement that if he succeeds in capturing Nigeria, that Tinubu will rule beyond 8 years.
Yes.
I don't know if you remembered.
I now remember. I mean, the moment you started talking about the capture and all of that, I think I do remember now. And some of us probably does too.
Yeah. The painful part of all this thing is that, the painful part of all this thing today is that it's like I think our hands, we are helpless because this guy has captured everywhere. And we are surprised that people like Fela Duro, what do they call him, is part of this now today. More people that you respect more, they will come up. They are just under the carpet. Do you know why? Why you people are busy? Why you people are busy speaking things, bringing issues about him? He's also busy sorting for people's dirty linen that he will use against them to get them by his side.
Yes.
Some of these people you see that are well respected that is coming to mess up now.
Yeah,
some of them they didn't intend to do so. So he knows people that will speak, that people, only this man can speak, which means I have somebody on my side that it is done. So he is going, while you're relaxing, fighting for him, fighting against him, he is busy going to seek for people's dirty linen in the past to use against them to get them by his side.
Yes.
So if
it's called consolidating power, ma'am.
Yes.
He's consolidating it.
Yes. So those of you that have integrity left with you, if those of you that have integrity left with you that still want to stand on the truth, it is either you go and clean your dirty linen, or you come out, take the shame once and for all. Because this is what this man is busy doing. Because you cannot comprehend why somebody that spoke against you just feel it's not all about money. Everything is not money.
I know.
You can't comprehend someone that spoke against you some few months back that was heavy against you. All of a
sudden, he's now attacking everybody, calling them names and calling it nonsense.
You understand me?
Something is
wrong. Every man has his ego.
That's right.
And for a man to stand in the time of when people are expecting not to stand against you means that the man knows what he is saying and is not ready to back up. But there's a place you hold a man at a tight corner. He will not have any choice but to dance to your tune because he doesn't want your linen to be washed outside. So that is what is actually going on. A lot of people will come up because a lot of our people, these people that started politics with him in the past 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, some of them have soiled their hand when the world has not gone digital.
And it has gotten to a stage that if you are going to be against me, you better just keep your mouth shut. But if you are going to go public, then we are going to come for you too. And a lot of them just started changing their tone. This is not normal. It's not ordinary. Trust me.
Exactly. Exactly. So you know that the system has been so corrupt that most of them, because there's no digital experience, there's no IT intelligence to expose their corruption in those days. Some of them, he has their records. Some of them are people that are being set up. Some of them are people that just don't know what to do. At this point, they don't have any. When you are condemning them, in their inner room, they are crying, but they don't have any choice but to play along.
I agree.
So that is one major thing this man is using against these people.
They compromise on them.
That if you can watch the way he went to P2B tonight and he could not find anything. So how much more?
You remember when P2B said, if they find any criminal past of ease, okay, that it will stop campaigning. On a second part, he said, if you find any money, either trace to me, my wife, my children, or any commissioner that work under me, I will stop this campaign. That was meant. I was like, and Tinubu and Co couldn't do anything. They couldn't bring anything real. The guy dared them. He dared them. They have searched. They could not find. If they have searched, they could not find. So I'm telling you that most people that have spoken against him in the past, that is coming to come against, that is coming to be on his own side, just know that that person has a dirty linen that Tinubu wants to escape. Should not be made public.
So it's not about the wealth alone.
It's not about them being given money or given corn.
No,
it's about the corn they've eaten
it's not about
long
the
time
corn
ago.
alone. It's about their image. You know, those that live in the glass house don't throw stones.
They don't throw stones.
So that's what he's doing to them now. Right. So more people are likely to come up while you're busy doing his investigative that will get to his side, and he's capturing them. He's capturing them.
It's
on
like they are
basis.
activating them one after the other. If you activate one in the north tomorrow, they will activate another one in the south day after. And watch for people's reaction.
Exactly. So when they capture the nice ones, they use reverse psychology to watch people's reaction, how we are going to react to it. If they succeed, if they get that one done, if they say that we are not reacting, they get another one. So most of the people that are clean now are these youths now that are fighting. They are clean because they are not into the government. But those of them that have been into banking sector for 20 years, government sector for 15 years, a lot of them are dirty. A lot of them were once scammers. There were once 419. A lot of them have one dirty linen or the other. So that is the major problem. And I tell you,
this is why the state capture today means that the criminals have actually taken over the asylum. So
they've taken over. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know if God is going to turn somebody's mind to disappoint him. My prayer is just God to create a label in their midst. Someone that will label against him. You
Except
understand?
something happened with Dean. Except something happened with Dean. Everything coming from without.
There must be a misunderstanding within. Yes. If there's no misunderstanding within, they can't conquer these people. There must be somebody that must go against him within their cartel to bring him down. If not, look at him. He said he has given us a hint that he's changing the whole director generals and the GI. You understand? So now he's clearing the whole place.
Yes.
Everybody will collect, including the Northerners. They will collect. He has captured. The only thing that will remove that man out of that seat is death.
And you know the fear. Do you know another fear, man? You know another fear, man. Yeah. Some people need to think very deep. Yeah. What I'm about to say now. Okay. All of us who are listening. You see, those who want Tinubu gone, and possibly disqualified, they should always make it clear that Shetima must follow Ramo.
Of course, very important.
If Tinubu go, leave Shetima. Well,
that one is the worst.
You understand now,
I
don't know how the story go handle. So when people are making that demand, maybe they make it clear. If Tinubu they go, Shetima must follow Ramo.
Whatever that brought them into the system is Tinubu that brought them into. Whatever that brought them into the system is corruption, and they know about it.
That's right.
So both of them should go.
God bless you.
I don't know if you understand me. Whatever that brought that presidency into the system is total based on forgery.
You know.
So they should go.
So you cannot build something on nothing.
In fact, APC as a whole is forgery based on that information.
Thank you so
much.
So
if Tinubu should go, anything APC should go. So watch out. If Tinubu finish ruling this country, watch out for Sheyi. I told you the other day. Watch out for Sheyi. Watch out for Remi Tinubu. Watch out for Yaloja.
Sheyi go play polo for Kano with presidential jets
with the jets
yesterday. I've been 2 days ago.
They're doing what? You can't do anything.
Why don't I carry the same presidential jet, go shoot a film for Bauchi?
You can imagine that.
Tobani, something for Bauchi, Nigeria.
And another thing I want to tell you again that will shock you. Another thing I want to tell you that will shock you. You know Nnamdi Kanu?
Yes.
The person that captured Nnamdi Kanu is Tinubu, not Buhari.
It was like a future game.
Yeah, it's a future game. There are a lot of things. Look, you don't need anybody to put one and one together. Things don't happen by accident. Because you know what I'm saying is, if somebody like Tinubu is really willing, he would attend to Nnamdi Kanu's case. Because he has no hand in it. But there is something there.
He has no case against him. He has
Buhari
nothing.
has no
Even Buhari couldn't prove everything for 8 years.
Let me tell you, Buhari government has no intelligence to track Nnamdi Kanu down. It is a cartel. It is the capability of a drug cartel that can pull such stunts.
You know where I think Buhari started feeling like this Tinubu is a pure criminal and he just wanted to finish his own inglorious time and just go away from all of them, was when Central Bank Governor, Baba, see, milady, Central Bank Governor Emefiole could not come to Nigeria because DSS, that is also working for Buhari, is looking for him. That they had to use the presidential guard to go and welcome Emefiole when he finally returned to Nigeria. Presidential guard from the airport, they guided him straight into Aso Rock. Buhari is the president. DSS at that time, they were almost no longer listening to him. They were listening to Tinubu.
I'm telling you, the guy had I go on. If you remember my conversation 2 times, this guy had a huge network. He had a bad network, especially all over Africa. He has bad network, and that is why they could not release Nnamdi Kanu. Even without this thing, because you know the guy, you know Nnamdi Kanu now, he will say it the way it is.
Yeah, now he will fire them. You know where I don't want them to trick us on this Maz's case, right? In my own view, sure you get, they don't know how they are going to really discharge him, right? Without having to ask him not to come after them, and they can't guarantee that, right? Now I kind of thinking the Supreme Court that was supposed to just rule on the appeal court ruling that said he has to be apologized to, pay the 5 billion naira and put on a jet and return back to Kenya. That was the ruling of the appeal court. That's the one in front of the Supreme Court right now, right? Now, the Supreme Court didn't see anything. So they have now shifted that to January 5 or so, okay? I'm sorry, December 5th or so. That's next 2 months, okay? Now, in that space, they are now talking more on trying to beg Tinubu to release him before the Supreme Court decision. You know what that simply means? They will be able to snuck in the request of, you know what, we have to give you some condition so that Tinubu can release you. Or else, Supreme Court will not listen to this case. Do you get what I mean now?
They are playing games.
Yeah, they are playing games.
I understand the games. They are playing games. So that's just, we are in deep mess. It's just the grace of God. We are in deep mess because once they captured, and you know, to be honest, my Yoruba brothers, those that are following him, they're following him like zombie.
Because they believe they will get something from him. He's known as a very good giver.
There is like,
you know,
I will say, I tweeted the other day that Tinubu's government and Buhari's government is worse than the military government.
Tell me about it. I bet people actually
it's worse than the military government. I'm telling you, Abacha was able to allow them to protest.
And now, people will be saying
he allowed people to protest.
Abacha, we were still protesting during Abacha. Soldiers will come, they will do this the following day, people are gathered again, and it's everywhere.
And you understand? Now, even the youth now, they have more zeal to do that, but they can't do it.
In a democracy.
It's a big mess. I don't know how it's going to happen. It's really a big mess.
It is going to spark.
Let me call in and just throw my 2 cents on this.
I mean, you have already. Thank you so much for all of that. Okay, thanks a lot, and you have a quick one. Okay, I am going to take just 1 or 2 more, and we'll call it a night. Okay, but I already took one. Hello there. Can you hear me?
Hello, good evening, Maiyegun.
Hello, sir. Good evening to you.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. Every day it's just becoming more shocking. Anybody that thinks that the Supreme Court is going to do anything, they must just pinch themselves
They are
and
not thinking straight. I bet a lot of people don't even
come
think they will do anything anyway. I don't think a lot of people expect
come
them
back
to.
to reality. And sadly, I think the only thing that is left, I'm afraid, is going to be revolution, and it's going to be violent. Revolution is
It
not a
is going to be
peaceful revolution.
violent revolution. Tell them.
It has to be, and blood has to
Revolution is
blood
not
has
love
to be
story.
there.
It's not fancy. It is
It is
sweaty.
not. It's not. No, it's not. It's not nice at all.
It's
You
not.
know, even Christ that gave his life for us, he had to shed his blood so that we might be free.
Yes. You know,
So
even talking about Christ, brother, talking about Christ. For those who are asking for the God of Israel to fight for us, listen to me.
Yeah,
Israel right now, they have to use real technology to fight.
they weren't doing prayer vigil and said that God
prayer,
should send
national prayer. No. Everybody they
that
wear
God,
me, carry gun. Go on,
yeah, that God should send angels to gather sleep and kill all the enemies.
They will all be dead by Monday.
See, the thing is that let's just get real, because all these people, it seems to me that even they are grooming the next generation of us, and they're going to be even worse than their fathers. I mean, I've never seen where the son of a president is go and watch a polo match. His dad has got a private jet. Why didn't he jump on his dad's private jet and go? Why should he go? So they're just telling you now that it's a family thing, that you guys cannot do anything. Anybody that says anything, and people have not started seeing shit go in Nigeria. Just wait after the Supreme Court thing. There's going to be massive arrests that you cannot even say nothing. There's going to be massive arrests.
Run to go Ghana, any nearest border. You incarnated.
Exactly. Look at the what's it called, the position now. Do you know some idiots are still trying to defend what is written in black and white, that this guy is a criminal? I think it's a mental problem with some people.
I can't say no, because when something is like something you can't really explain, it continue to happen, and as a pattern, you begin to ask that there must be a diagnosis for something like this.
I'm telling you, I've never seen this sort of thing. And then the church, I'm not criticizing the church, but when you start talking about the church, they will think that you're antichrist, that you don't believe in God and all that. But where the church cannot say the truth, the so-called GOs will be lying through their teeth. Even this fella Toye, do you know he's a pastor in one of the big churches in Lagos? He's a pastor there. All liars. They gave you an appointment and all that, instead of you to say, listen, I do not stand for righteousness. If you become a part of a gang that went for a heist to spoil to eat of their spoil, you to become a criminal. It's just as simple as that. But the day is going to happen. One day we'll wake up, we'll hear that familiar music.
Where I want to make you actually speak there is that Shure, Afela, Kingston Moralu, Fashua, who else was among them at the time? But I shall remember this 4 or 5, right?
Yes, they were very vocal.
You remember?
Yeah.
We were like, let's have those who should be president. Look at the way they are talking. No. Imagine Shure, special advisor to President Shure now on TV, telling all of us talking right now that we are stupid. We don't know what we are talking about. We don't understand government. That's exactly what the likes of Fela is. Even though it's an insult to compare Fela with Shure. I'm just saying around that time, you will
Exactly. You know, it just so hard and all that. And what they are doing right now, I tell you, the reason why I think they are putting all these people is for propaganda. There are a couple of YouTube channels that are actively when I say actively, they're actively pumping out false narratives. I don't want to say the channel, but please make a note of my number. I will send you the link, and you will be shaking your head. They are
propaganda is like on the steroid, Abi. Full lies.
No. Listen, they are bigots pro max. You find people that call themselves that are educated. These are not illiterates. These are educated people that live in diaspora. That is the worrying thing. They're actively the person that runs that channel is here in the UK. I will say not my number. You know who is calling now? Jide here. You don't know my number. I will send it to you, and you just shake your head. So this sort of thing. I believe he's been bankrolled by the APC, and that is what
they just kind of tell all different propaganda. Then attack his enemy and the rest of that, and then they go to bed. And the following day, they
exactly.
come back.
PR, yeah, the PR. Instead of them to
people are there feeding on that.
Arise News gave it to them today. Surprisingly, they were saying instead of employing economic advisors, they are employing more propagandists into their
That is my title too. Now I saw the list of those Baba Tinubu has made. He called them media communication team. This guy as Minister of Information. He has a special advisor on media. Senior special advisor on media. Now he put together a new media team, and he gave them roles like public communication, information, public engagement, special advisor on public engagement. He hired over 60 people, and he put them together in the media team to be paid.
The other madman that was very vocal in the past. We don't hear about him anymore. I know that. I think he's the one coordinating. Yeah, Dele Alake.
Let me tell you that one before you go. You see that Dele Alake initially.
Yes.
The plan was Dele Alake will do Tinubu's information ministry, so that he will be the one in charge of controlling those media. But they now discovered that if you know the amount of illegal miners in Nigeria and how much money they are making, Tinubu believed that the real billions is not in crude oil. They are in those natural resources. He called Dele Alake. So Dele Alake offered himself and said, I need to go and handle that for you. It's like a money spinning. So they now say they will put together a small army for Dele Alake. For the ministry, so they will be called forest ranger, but they are just like small army, like that, armed.
Trust me.
You know,
trust me. The northern youth are rising. They are just not talking now. But when they start talking, they are rising. They are rising because all these things is even the shame has started. If this man is not shameless with this thing that has happened, he should have called himself to order. I mean, remember, that leads me to the next point too. We have not even started seeing all the files from FBI. That one is going to be a banger.
That one is like waiting. You know what I'm feeling sorry for, or feeling concerned for, Jaidi, right? Is that I'm going on a family holiday next week, right? And it's going to be like a straight 5 days. And the places there's not going to be internet like here, right? It's going to be like a deeper jungle of Scotland. Now I'm like,
oh my God,
Baba, I can't drop the whole thing. We see I don't tell my brethren all this month. They can't drop them and not there around. Man,
don't worry. If I
do a video with just my phone, I go do them and tell people, say, wait, I go give you details later. But yeah, we are all waiting for the FBI. Baba,
I'm sure they will wait for Maiyegun until you come back.
It's going to be so disappointing. Imagine all of you going elsewhere to go and read about it. And you are seeing people talking about it, and you're like, man, God damn it.
No,
go around and sing. If Maiyegun be around, this thing go make sense. You know that thing?
Maiyegun, there is Dr. Damages. I don't know whether you know him. He's doing a great work. New York here, he's doing some great work as well, you know. But his approach Yeah, but he uses a bit of satire and intellectualism to expose them. He allows them to and open up their dirty backside and all that, and then he's doing a great work as well. Anyway, thank you very much for having me this evening. God bless. Okay,
have a good one. Okay, take care, Baba. So, that is Jude from London. This is where I am going to draw the curtain. I'm sorry that I'm stealing 20 minutes from your time again, but I promise you, once I have my schedule in order again, there is so much I'm into right now. There's so much. But I'm always going to be here as much as possible. Okay? So bear with me for now. But that will be it for tonight. If you joined us midway, remember, if you don't like my music, that long music, just once you join the new broadcast, if you want to watch it again, just fast forward it to about 7 minutes. So that's when I started giving a highlight of what I want to talk about, and you can continue watching from there. Remember, so the reason why you always have that long music is because MaiyegunsDiary Politico is always live. And live means it's like starting a program. You have to wait for others to join before everybody gather enough to say, yeah, let's go. That's how we do it. And that's how we've been running it. So thank you for all your support. I'm going to see you some other time. So until then, please stay safe and don't leave without your own offering. Like the broadcast, share it, subscribe to my channel as usual, right? If you haven't already. So next time, it's going to be us again. So thank you and good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. MaiyegunDiary Diary Politico. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun ẹ̀ súnra
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran òun.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.